Hello everyone, my name's Ethan. This is my channel, Gringo Campesino. I'm over here on the backside of my farm in this small bamboo grove that was cleared out by my employee Pedro about 6 months ago. It creates some usable space. I'm not allowed to clear the grove. I have plenty of bamboo for building materials, so I would actually like to clear this out, but I am technically not allowed legally, though they will let me cut some bamboo occasionally for personal use. So as you can hear, my dogs are out here with me. It's a nice day today after a few days of rain, so I think it's a good day to transfer some bees. So as Pedro was clearing this area, he came across a downed bamboo stem that had a hole in it, and bees had taken to making it their home. So I'm not exactly sure what variety this is. There are over 35, maybe 40 varieties here in Colombia of these stingless bees. So I'm going to take a look at it, and I'm going to try to apply what I've learned from experts on YouTube and see if I can transfer this into the bee hive that I created and I want around my house. I have noticed that these bees are a little bit lighter color, maybe a little bit honey color, I guess, or maybe a light brown color rather than a black color. So maybe I'll look it up and maybe I'll post if I can find the species that this is. But they're smaller, about the size of a housefly, maybe even smaller than that. And so I'm going to try to open it up on camera and see how I can make this transfer. So you can see this is all cut down coffee from this field up here. The coffee's growing back, looking pretty nice. And this is the small grove of bamboo that I'm not allowed to completely remove, but I can use it for personal use. So it's quite amazing. I'm always barefoot, and I'm seeing my dogs run around barefoot. And for those of you who don't know, look at the spines, look at the thorns on these branches. And so these bamboo branches are fairly regularly shed. But they're also sometimes held on quite strong. And so you have a combination of getting stuck in the head and getting stuck on the bottom of your foot when you're walking around this area. Though I am barefoot, you know, some people would say that's ridiculous, and yeah, it might be. But honestly, these bigger thorns, they will go straight through a pair of light shoes anyway. You have to wear some really thick boots to make sure you don't get stuck by them. So here is the beehive. So you can see right in the center of my screen there, center of the camera. I'm trying to get it to focus here. So they're quite small. I would estimate a little bit smaller than a housefly. So my worker, probably about 6 months ago, was cutting into this bamboo, and I'm not sure which came first, if he noticed the hive and left it be, or if he was cutting into here and decided not to cut it, which opened up space for these guys to colonize this kind of a natural den for them. So I'm going to turn off the camera now, try to mount it, bring out some tools, and try to apply what I've learned to try to transfer this hive into a box that I can put near the house. Okay, I'm back. You can see I brought some tools here. So the idea is that I hung the new box here. I have read and watched some videos explaining that it is a good idea not to move them too far immediately, to give them some time to acclimate to their new box. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into the bamboo here and try to transfer into the new hive. And you can see it might be a little bit difficult with the puppies, but thankfully these are stingless bees, so they're not going to get attacked too bad. So we'll see how this goes. Please remember, I am not an expert. I am taking you along on my journey to figure out how to do this. I am myself learning from experts on YouTube. So please remember, this is not instructional at all. Hopefully in a few months, with some more experience, I'll be able to tell you what I think and my opinions, but at this point, I'm just taking you along as an extreme novice. They are trying to attack me. I'm feeling them go after my legs, but maybe because I'm trying to stay calm, they don't seem to be doing much of anything. They're flying around. I do have a small breeze, so maybe they're being blown off of me. Okay, so this is the entrance structure. So I'm going to put this near the entrance of the hive here, the new hive. And I'm going to, as recommended, I'm going to take what I think is called propolis. And I'm going to smear some of that on the entrance back here. So these bees are not freaked out when they find their queen in a new place. It's very sticky, so I'm having no problems getting it to stick to the box. So I'm going to try to trim this to fit better into this square box that I have. It is sticky, but it is not honey. So I'll switch the camera around and show you in a bit. Hopefully I am understanding the instructions from my friends here. So the next step is I'm going to be looking for the eggs, and I want to put them in the second level of the hive to separate them some. Okay, so these are all the eggs. You can see the comb is not what you might see in like a children's book when they're depicting honeycombs. And if anyone has done anything with the Africanized European bees, they definitely look different than this. So I think this is an indication of what type of bee, what species of bee this is, this pattern here. But I'm going to have to look that up later. You can see here, as I was breaking apart some of the comb here, the pressure started releasing some honey in these little capsules. So I'm going to take a little bit of the honey and leave it for the bees, and then I'm going to come back and see if I can get some honey out of here. So let me set up the camera again and I'll move forward. I think I got the majority of the eggs. I don't know if the camera can pick up on this swarm that's happening around here. Probably from the camera angle, it just looks like a swarm of flies, which is pretty accurate. They're not bothering me at all. So what I want to do now is I want to see if I can find the queen, to see if she's in the new box or the old box. So I don't see the queen in here. it is quite cool how they compartmentalize. And that's the idea of this box over here, to create compartments so that when I harvest the honey, I won't be bothering the actual colony. So I'm going to continue looking for this queen, and then I'm going to put some honey into the hive so they have something to eat, and hopefully it will attract all of the workers. And then I'm going to come back and try to get some of this honey. See, I'm trying to be as gentle as possible here. I haven't found the queen again, so I'm trying to shake them off this structure here. Maybe she's still hanging out, so I'm hopeful she made her way into the new hive with the eggs. These guys are pretty cool, so let me see if I can give a close-up here. The camera's not focusing too well, but you can see they're not very big. They're kind of a honey color. They blend in quite well. The only reason I was able to find this colony, is because Pedro, my worker, was cutting through some of this bamboo. Some of the bigger ones, you can see them flying and follow them home. But these ones are so small and they're so light colored that I don't think I would have noticed. Okay, without the glare, you can see when I cut into this section, it's just oozing with honey, and you can see there's these pollen sacs in here, like right in here. There's these pollen sacs. Sorry, this isn't so easy looking through the camera. So I'm pretty confident in this section here, the place in which the eggs were laid. I'm pretty confident the queen is no longer there. So I'm going to give just a little bit more of this. Look at how it's being harvested here. A little bit more honey for the colony. I'd really like to have two hands for this. Okay, so this is how it works here. So this top box, this is where they're making the honey. So this box that sits in the middle, that will be the honey for the colony. This is where the eggs are laid, and this is the entrance section. So please, if anyone knows if I'm wrong on this, please let me know. So now, the idea is that I need to put on this excluder here. So you can see there are some corners that allows the bees to pass through, the workers, to lay the eggs. And you have this wire mesh bottom, which makes it so when I remove it, the wire will cut through the honey. So I have another excluder here. Then So these two will be my harvestable boxes. And I have an internal top here. And so it looks like an Australian box system, if I understand correctly, but it has this exterior box. So I'm going to leave it here for a while. I'll reassemble it, put the top back on, and then I'm going to go get a jar so I can harvest this honey. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to try my best to show you what I'm doing here. This is not my idea, but I've seen other people do it. They're sucking out the honey in this syringe. So you can see right there, it is working. So the idea is I'm going to take out as much as I can. This will be more. So that didn't work very well. The camera setup, that is. The syringe is working quite well. So as an experiment, this isn't so bad, but I think I'm going to take out just this whole section here, put it in a bowl, and take it home with me. Wow, look at that. It's dripping with honey. And this honey is at least twice as expensive here as honey from the European, more productive bees. So this bamboo here is actually just a pool of honey. So I'm going to see what I can do and get that out. So some might say this is a little bit dirty, and I guess technically you'd be right, but this has very strong antibacterial properties. So I am not in the slightest worried about getting sick by consuming this. And I think what I'll do is I'll find some netting of some kind, and I will try to filter it out so you can see, have this bowl full of this honey. So if this is purified, as in filtered, my understanding is this can sell for $20, $30 right here. So my main function of doing this is to expand the pollinators on my farm. But if I can make a little bit of cash in the process, that'll be great. I am working with my friends here in the community who have a beekeeping cooperative. Both this type of honey and a number of other types of honey. So if anyone is interested in possibly importing this type of honey to their country, to the US, Europe especially, let me know. I have a great contact. They seem like great people. Okay, let me show you what's left here. So you can see here there's just a little bit of honey left, and I'm sucking it out of the bottom of this bamboo cavity here. So you can see even in the syringe it's a little bit more watery than you might expect honey to be. So this whole colony has now been moved. So my concern that remains is, how am I going to make sure these bees find their new home? So I don't know if this is the best way. You see the new box is just there, so very, very close. So what I've seen some people do is they're kind of giving a trail for the bees to follow. So the bees are liking this because it must have the smell of the eggs on it. So I'm going to move this closer to the colony, and hopefully these bees will take that step from where their honey used to be up to where the smell of the eggs is, and find their way into the box where their queen is. So that's me done. There's the honey harvest down there. I think unfortunately some of those bees that are on the honey, they're going to unfortunately die with the honey. But if someone has an idea on how to better do this, I am very, very happy to listen. Once again, I am not an expert. This is my first time. I'm learning.